Lazy learners and lax disciples will always struggle to muster even a particle of faith.
Travis Wingitzel. So last night I was up late again, and as I was first in bed, got this inspiration to do this video for you. And so when I finally wake up 10 days later, I see a comment by one of the recent following viewers who made his comment an hour later, according to YouTube, and it was on the exact same topic and theme. Yep, that's how it works, guys. That's how it works. And so, his comment, even though it included a naughty no-no link, the link was appropriate. And so I allowed the comment to go through. He knows how to properly make a comment on YouTube, on my channel. It's to historic conferences of the church. And it was on George Q. Cannon's October Death Talk, as Brigham Young had just passed on. And there's some others there that I'll need to go through and look at later on, assuming I can get to them, and etc. If anybody else wants to obtain them and send them in a zip file, I'd appreciate that. Save me time. And so, as I've told you many times over the years, I was asked by what was called then the Church Curriculum Department to help them with the revision of the footnotes of our scriptures for the purpose of the foreign language editions, which were going to have the guide to the scriptures. And they weren't going to make an English version. If you're wondering, because you went on a foreign mission, not to Fort Collins, Colorado, like the 5 foolish virgins yesterday, but to a Spanish or other language, which the church now has that revision. You're probably wondering, well, why didn't the church do a version for us? If you're going through your foreign language edition and seeing that there are differences in the footnotes, because there are differences. It's not just taking out topical guide and Bible dictionaries and replacing them with guide to the scriptures, which was what we were originally only supposed to do. But thanks to me, it became a full project right there at the end. And so the triple combination did not get the full attention that the Bible did. There's some things that you need to know. So if you're going to assume that the footnotes are inspired by God and therefore are scriptural word themselves, first of all, I have seen since that time Mormons in church using the footnotes as if they were there are still a lot of errors and many of the previous original errors that did not get changed. And there were reasons behind that. I'm not happy with it, but nothing I could do about it. And so in the transition, as we were finishing up, they were beginning to work on the priesthood and relief society manuals for the teachings of the presidents of the church. And instead of doing them in order, they started with Brigham Young. And so I don't know if you are aware of the scandal of those who made that manual. It deals primarily with the talk that he gave on the Adam God theory and included polygamy. The church service missionaries pulled a naughty no-no. I know who they were because there were people from my group who got transferred over into the next project because it tends to stay in-house. They come to us. We can't go to them and apply like an elderly couple wanting to serve the church. They seek out those who they want to help. And so, yes, the background story of me. I was divorced. That's a naughty no-no back in those days. I'm a sinner. And so I had to have the Jesus card, which is hilarious if you know the big picture that you've been following me with. And so, yes, I know those people. I know who made the errors. And it's hilarious because we were told in our project not to do what they did. And so, yes, you see polygamy getting cut out so that they can put in only Adam and his wife. Well, they did say Adam brought Eve, one of his wives, but the Adam God thing was gutted. So, well, they might have cut out one of his wives. I'd have to go back and check again, but it was funny. Big scandal in the church because there were others that caught it because they knew that talk. And in 2019, there was also a Mormon who had published a Brigham Young book. And Mormons were quick to claim him as the authority on Brigham Young. Give me an option to reject this. Let's see if deleting that will help. And Wikipedia on Brigham Young was altered according to that one book. He was now the authority on Brigham Young because Mormons approved. Spiritual witness approved. And it's the same naughty no-no that the church didn't want done. And yet, church lets it go, nonetheless, because it's faith promoting. It's positive. And you can't do that because he's lying about Brigham Young. The manuals of each and every single president of the church are lying to us. Because we as members don't know about the previous prophets. And so if all we hear, if all we read are the positive stuff, and we don't hear of the criminal actions, the lies, the deceptions, the malicious hate, the violence, the abuse. And this isn't stuff we make up. These are stuff of historical fact that the church is purposely leaving out about their presidents and other prophets and other Mormons who went with Brigham Young. Then we get tainted as to our interpretation of the past prophets. And within the last decade, the presidents of the church tried to come out and say that, we're just mortal men. We're humanizing ourselves. When several decades ago, they got on Mormons for humanizing Joseph. But they were trying to claim that, they're just mortal men, inspired by God, Jesus, to do what they do. And so if you don't take that into context, as a Mormon, if you're in the thinking process of only faith-promoting stuff is true and anything negative is therefore false, then you saw the news about the SEC fining the church for stock manipulation. That's a crime. And that's the penalty is $5 million. It's a standard flat rate. And so it can't adjust according to the amount of money that the church has, as it should. Because it's nothing to the church. It's just a little flick on the wrist as a punishment. But then the church still was upset by $5 million lost and had sought other ways to get that money back. Even going after an insurance company. But Mormons, that was blatantly obvious that this church isn't true. But because you have been indoctrinated to believe in only the faith-promoting stuff, to deny and resist and disbelieve anything negative about the church, minimizing criminal behavior as just mortal weakness, you're placing yourself in a very dangerous position, as the Church of Jesus Christ is going to murder you. That's what all this is about. They are setting up for the fact, thank you, Oaks, of the second coming, as they call it. Because they aren't the learning of the Jews, like Joseph Smith was. And so, truth is not a democracy vote. Mormons can't just all unanimously say, I believe it's true, now therefore it is. Democracy is the worst form of government on the face of the earth. Right, Democrats? But that doesn't mean you go to the extreme of fascism. Right, MAGA? Dear God. And so, yeah. Lazy learners have no faith. Right, Nelson?